Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Crowdsourced challenge, where I've not changed the wheel at all, even though I probably should. So there's going to be a few rules in here that shouldn't be in there, like first person only and no GPS. Because no GPS is just not going to happen. So let's spin it and see what comes up. I may have to respin. I will have to respin because that's already a rule. This is why I should update the bloomin' wheel. Oh! Sim's gonna be happy. No auto load for any reason ever. Good. Good. Catch you guys in game. I'll catch you guys in game. Oh dear. And we're in game. Slightly ahead of where we finished the stream because I started recording, realised I had something to do, then ran off and did it real quick. So the new rule is gonna be a bit of a pain, but not too big of a deal. Quick bit of admin work from the previous video. Obviously, we have a brand new to us class Ariane. I don't know what year this is. A class Ariane 640, and this is replacing the Fiat, which didn't quite have 20 hours, but I'll be honest, I don't see the Fiat enough around me to use it in this series. I'm enjoying using tractors that I see regularly. And in the past I've seen tons, too many Fords, too many A348 PowerStar SLEs, just too many. I've also seen a ton of John Deere 7430s. And the tractor I'm seeing most of the moment is kind of somewhere in between a New Holland T7 210 and class Arians. So that's why the Arians here doesn't quite have the insignia on it yet. I need to put the ribbon insignia on because I wasn't planning on getting it. And I also need to change the number plate. This is stolen from Frontier Designs multiplayer server again. The public version of this mod, without the Frontier Designs edits, is on Mod Hoster. Just look up Class Ariane 600. I think it's by Smetty. Really high quality mod, but Frontier just take it that extra little step, which is always nice, just to have ready to go. As you can see, the traffic's let's just conveniently ignore that for now. The traffic's doing its thing. And a little bit of admin as well. I do have subbed out the Abbey for the new Abbey, which unfortunately seems to be causing little call stack errors for some reason. I think myself and Landy think it might be something to do with the slurry hoses. The fact that we don't have the slurry hose mod on this map yet. I am getting it installed very soon, so it should be up and running in the next week or so. In terms of edits, I said that I do to the map. We have stage 1 done. Well, half of stage 1. The rest of stage 1 is in fact the hose mod for slurry, so that the abbeys can be used deliciously. But half of stage 1 is done. We have the grazing mod in, so I no longer need to worry about the grass for the cows or grass for the sheep for 90% of the year. As long as there is grass growing, the animals will be fed. So that's just a quality of life mod that I have in. I'm not uninstalling it because I actually went to the effort of installing it in the first place. So that's not getting changed at all. In terms of, let's see, plans for this map, I do have obviously hose mod going in. I do have a couple of minor tweaks that I want to do just for myself, and I'll be doing those after hose mod is in, because I actually want to hand the version with hose mod over to Landy, with hose mod and grazing in. I want to hand that version over to Landy, and he wants to use those two mods on this map. So this is where private editing goes a bit mental when you got friends who also want private edits, and it's easier for one person just to do them all, or to get you know, it's easier to get one person doing the edits instead of two people doing the edits in two different ways. Just keeps things a bit more consistent, and we're not going to be sharing it around. So if you want hose mod and grazing mod on your maps, do it yourself. There's a great tutorial on the Frontier Discord for how to put grazing mod in. I think it's by Ian. I want to say it's by Ian. It might be by Gav. Let me just check my PMs with Glengar, because he sent me who did it. It is by Ian898. The one of the scripting gurus of Frontier Designs. And I followed that tutorial exactly, and it worked perfectly. Got it installed in 2-3 minutes. Very, very quick and very, very easy. You don't need to know GE very well to do it. You don't need to know XML tweaks, or, well, as it is, i3D tweaks all that well to do it. The instructions that he gives are very quick, easy, and to the point, and very simple and easy to follow. So that is super useful for putting grazing mod in, for people who want it. And of course, grazing mod won't work if you don't have the grazing mod itself from Realismus Modding, available on FSUK. Obviously, it being from Realismus, the guys who made Seasons, it works with Seasons perfectly. It's actually designed to go with Seasons. So, yeah. And the Abbey does... I think I've spoken about this. The Abbey has little caustic errors that we think are down to this map not having hose mod yet. We'll find out in time, I guess. Because Chris is using them on Letton Farm, which I think does have hose mod, and they seem to be working fine on there, so I'm presuming it's a hose mod issue causing that. Luckily, and I'm really happy to say this, it's not down to the conversion mod, the unit conversion mod, because I love this mod, and I'd be really annoyed if it wasn't gonna work, or if it was causing caustic errors. Because this is one of those mods that's just nice to use. It's just, why does that yard just have a... just ignore the fact that there's no hedge between the field and the yard. That actually happens in Arden sometimes, so it's surprisingly fine, believe it or not. Surprisingly true to life. Despite what I'm sure some people will think, well, that's not realistic. I had a friend who lived beside a field, and there was just a giant hole in his hedge where you could enter the field from. Because there was no hedge there, but there was a field, and you could go just wander in the field, so 100% true to Irish life, as silly as it sounds. So hopefully we'll get this field done fairly quickly. It is going to be made easier by the Redonculum, or the Coon, which is just huge, and we'll be able to get into windrowing fairly soon. This Coon rear mower, I feel like I don't need the front mower at all. This rear mower is just huge. By the way, for those of you who might be wondering, this Ariana in 640 configuration, with the front hydraulic on, all that kind of nubbins going on, is 183 horsepower, which is, I think, only slightly more than the Fiat it's replacing, so it's not that huge of a difference. It's just something that I like having. I like using class tractors. I don't use them much, but I do like using them. I like having an excuse. Because I'll be honest, I just like the colour scheme class have. The lime green and white just go really well together. It might just be me who thinks that, but I just like the class colour scheme. I think it pops really nicely. I should mention as well, by the way, and I'm going to talk about this briefly just because I want to point something out that I find hilarious. There's a group on Facebook that's like doing these FS19 rumors, but they're basing them seemingly entirely on Bullet Bill and OxygenDavid's maps for some reason. So they're like finding little things in the maps and saying, oh, this is confirming something or something in FS19. One of them was on Lone Oak, and it was the GE Easter egg, the Easter egg of like Lone Oak being built in GE on Lone Oak. And they thought for some reason it was like a new map Bill was planning. Not entirely sure why, but they thought this. And they shared it to the group, and people were like, oh yeah, I wonder what it's going to be. Oh, it looks bad, it looks good, and blah 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 blah. It's... Have you been outside that house yet on Lone Oak? Because it's literally the yard. The area on those PCs on Lone Oak is literally like outside the door of the yard. And apparently they just hadn't left the house yet. 7:53 AM. Oh, that's threatening looking weather. Oh, those are angry clouds. Oh wow. Okay. Thor is displeased with me making fun of Facebook pages, so I'm going to stop now. Please be nice to me, Thor. I am but a small human. Right side of using the ridicuhuge mower. This is taking like no time to do all this mowing. Like, we've been in this field about 10 minutes and we're almost, you know, we're probably about halfway done now. And 10 minutes, well, it's been 10 minutes since I started recording, and we did do a bit of field 5 as well. So this mower's kind of OP. Well, this mowing setup is a bit OP in terms of like it's cheap-ish and just blasts through the grass. One thing I will need to do, not in a, maybe in this video, might do it in this video. Yeah, I think we're gonna do that when we're gonna do that when we're finished the mowing. One thing I'm gonna do once we're finished the mowing is, instead of windrowing, I'm actually gonna grab the 7430 and we're gonna sell off some wool, because with seasons, wool is hilariously overpowered. I've got about, at last count, last kind of guesswork, I've got about 100,000 euros worth of wool just sitting over the sheep waiting to be sold off. So we're gonna sell it off because I like money, and I don't see the point in waiting for a great demand when the wool is worth that much to begin with, quite honestly. So we're just gonna straight sell every couple of days and get stupid amounts of money for free. Now, one of the main reasons that I put grazing mod in, and that any rules that say, oh, get rid of grazing mod, I'm going to ignore, because people seem to like when I put a new mod in, trying to make up rules. It's like, yeah, you can't use that mod you just put in. That mod that you put in because it's a quality of life thing, no, you can't use that anymore. That mod you just put in so you're avoiding 17 hours of off-camera work in the near future, yeah, you can't use that. Yeah, no. I get you guys are trying to make evil rules, but when I'm putting mods in to save me doing, you know, ridiculous amounts of mowing with like a profi hopper or something, which is what grazing mod is doing, by the way. That's the whole point behind me having it. That's not me trying to cheat the system or game the system. That's me trying to avoid doing, you know, hours of messing about with the profi hopper in a stream, or hours of doing it off camera or something. It's just me making things a bit more watchable for you guys. It's not me cheating somehow. Yeah, I'm not having money cheat unless, and I did use it in yesterday's stream to buy, well, unless I'm doing a straight swap of some machinery over and back, or was that, as an example here, the Abbey, I did use money cheat for it yesterday before the stream, because I was doing a straight upgrade from the old version to the new version, and it didn't make sense for me to make or lose money off that. It was just a version swap. And then also during the stream I wanted to show off, or I was asked to show off the galvanized version of the Abbey, so I, you know, turned on cheat menu for that as well. That's not me abandoning the rules and playing outside the rules, that's me showing stuff off in streams, because that's kind of my job as a YouTuber, is to show you guys cool things you can do with the game. Or funny things, or entertaining things, or just vague things. Oh hey, the traffic's decided to start moving. But what we're gonna do now is we're gonna start selling off the 4 full pallets. Oh my god, that's gonna be like 120,000 euro. We have a 10,000 euro loan, by the way. That's gonna go away very quickly. Because I need to, or don't need to, I want to sell off the wool now, just because it's, otherwise it's gonna just stack up and look silly. Off camera before I started recording, by the way, I did empty out the cows. I just went in there with the deer and dealt with that. So you can see I've got the bucket on the front. And now we get to find out, quite interestingly for me, how much the wool pallets weigh, because of course using unit conversion we get a vague idea of actual real, you know, actual what the game is simulating the weight as. It's probably not 100% true, but you know, it's using calculations of maths, therefore it's totally realistic numbers, because maths says this is the number, even though it's probably not. And I've got everything set to metric tons. So, Europeans, you'll know what that means. Americans, it's not the type of ton you think. So let's start by grabbing this pallet now. The reason I'm bringing them down one by one, by the way, is just because it's more convenient. This is 78 kilos. This seems a bit... A human could probably lift these. 78 kilos of wool being worth 30,000. I'm gonna have to look up... Oh wait, that's 77%. 0.78 is 77%. Oh, I'm wondering, are these going to be like 100 kilos of wool a pop? Which, if somebody wants to in the comments, because I'm not going to look it up and then put it into an annotation in the video or something. If somebody wants to look up how much raw wool is worth, I'd be really curious to find out. I'm probably going to Google it myself, but if somebody wants to put it into the comments, I will definitely give it to Pinarino. And we're gonna, oh my god, we're gonna have the train passing over us as we go under the bridge. We're totally gonna have the train passing over us as we go under the bridge, because it'll make it happen. There's the thumbnail, complete with broken AI vehicle. GG broken AI vehicle. Get the HUD back up. You guys now get to hear how many weird button presses I have to do to get things working before and after a video. When I take a thumbnail after a video, it's just like me sat there for 10 seconds just pressing buttons to get rid of bits of HUD. 78 kilos of wool. That's kind of an interesting measurement. Like, it is just the same weight as a healthy human being. I think it's actually probably close on my ideal weight, come to think of it. So it's what I should weigh. Roughly. It's not what I do weigh, but it's what... I think it's actually slightly more than what I should weigh, even. If my calculations are correct, the rest of the wool pallets should be roughly what I do weigh. So, yeah, we had a 10,000 euro loan. Let's just pay that off real quick, because now we've got... yeah, we made 26,500 from that. Wool is hilariously overpowered. And I think, actually... I think what we're doing now and what we're going to work towards now is getting a few more grass fields, and this is going to sound silly, getting more grass fields that we will not use for animals. And I think what we're going to do with the grass fields is we're going to just use that grass silage from those fields. Just dump it down the BGA, make a giant pile of it, and get a big old clamp of silage ready. Because I think our next real big expenditure... Oh, no. I've got like 3 that I'd want to buy. I still don't have placeable sheds in, by the way. It's just occurred to me. Keep forgetting to put in placeable sheds. Or to find placeable sheds that I like. But I think one of the next things I want to buy is going to be the BGA working. It's a bit kind of weird, but it'll be worth it, because it's free slurry. But no, I'm gonna work towards doing a think, and I don't know what I want to do next. I've passed where I wanted to go, by the way. I meant to go to the sheep. Because I could get an organic operation going. An organic farming operation. I could invest in some hardware for that, some machinery for that. I could work towards getting a pig feed operation going, where I can manually create pig feed. Or I could work towards getting BGA going, which ironically would be a secondary organics operation. They're kind of the 3 options open to me right now. And I'm not entirely sure which one of the 3 I'd like to go for. So the options are organic, organic pig feed or BGA. Now I know the BGA will result in digestate, which is effectively free organic fertilizer. And with the BGA it would be kind of buying field 4, buying field 20, and just buying an extra couple of fields so that we can get some dedicated fields for the BGA silo. That we can just kind of constantly work and consistently work up towards getting silage ready in there and feeding that into the BGA when it can accept. Because I do have, by the way, a BGA extension on, which is why I'm saying we need to get the we need to save up to get the BGA working. The other option would be saving up for, I guess, a bigger tractor or a bigger combine. 6-meter seed would be nice. You know, there's a few different options open to me with things we could save up for. And just thinking about it, a 6-meter seed would be nice, but I'd need to get a bigger sprayer for that to work out very well. So there's some, you know, there's some things that I could buy that'll be kind of a domino effect, that if I get a 6-meter seeder I'll need to get bigger sprayers so that the Pro Seed will work well, because the sprayer I've got right now wouldn't work well with a 6-meter seeder. The tram lines for that would just be weird. 34.5, just over 34,000 for that pallet of wool, by the way. Finally be keeping track, and from the net minus 5,000 we're now up to plus 55,783 in this one video, because sheep are hilariously overpowered as seasons, as it turns out, especially if you have 225 of the buggers. I swear I looked earlier and it was 2. Are the sheep multiplying faster now? Hang on, last time I checked it was like 4 hours in between sheep. How long is it now? Oh dear. Oh dear, they're multiplying faster. Also, you can see that they're full of grass, as are the cows, because grazing mud. It makes perfect sense now. I'm happy. Grazing mod just makes sense to me. It is a small bit of a faff. Well, on most maps it's a bit of a faff to get it installed, but thanks to Ian creating a tutorial, not specifically for me, but just creating a tutorial in general that made it a 3-minute job, if not less, it makes it a lot easier. And it makes more sense now that the cows and the sheep that are in the meadow can actually eat the grass from the meadow instead of me having to go into the meadow that the cows or the sheep are in and having to mow grass from the meadow to give to the animals that are in the bloody meadow. Because that is a weird limitation of farm sim that I've never fully understood. That's something that I'd love to ask Giants. Why did you decide this was going to be how things worked? Because I've never understood an iota of it. It's just... coming from somewhere... I was right, it is 100 kilos for a full pallet. Coming from somewhere where the majority of sheep are mountain sheep here and live on mountainsides and don't have any sheds to go to. And the cows, granted, they go into, you know, they go into sheds in the winter, but for 3/4 of the year they're out in the fields, and they're all grass-fed. Why did Giants feel the need to force you to feed the animals grass? When, especially in game, they're in meadows, where they, in reality, would eat grass. Kind of a... it's something that I've never been able to logic through. In fact, every time I've tried, I've come up with the logic, with the conclusion that I have no idea why this was a decision they made. Obviously for gameplay reasons, but sometimes gameplay reasons make no logical sense and have no basis in reality. So for the people who are going to clamour about realism and whatnot with me putting grazing mod in, it is for realism that I put the damn thing in. So shush. You shush. Just shush. I've just had a look at the time as well. We are way over time from what I was intending to do today. We still have one thingy of wool to sell off, so I'll do that off camera. We're going to be over 100,000. Easy. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. My name's Deezy. I feel dizzy. Yeah, we're gonna be way over 100,000. Wow. Are we gonna break 100,000 right now? 89,614. This is from having a like being on 5,000 something. I wasn't paying attention. Having a 10,000 euro loan out. Now we've got the loan cleared and 90,000 euro on top of it. Okay, that's, yeah, I'm gonna leave it here because I can't make head nor tails of the how hilariously OP the sheep are. I'll leave you by saying I've been RainbowDave, you've been watching the Crowdsourced Challenge in Farming Simulator 17. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I'll be back later on today with a stream of some sort. I don't quite know if it's going to be Farm Sim or Forza, but I'll be playing literally something. Until then, stay safe, and goodbye.